This Family Life News podcast is made possible by the support of listeners like you.
Next on the 5 o'clock report.
The future is going to be designed, built, and made right here in Pennsylvania.
In Washington, it's not what you say that matters.
I can't believe how much everything has gone up. It's ridiculous.
Now, let's go to the newsroom.
The president pumped up in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Good afternoon. Thank you very much for joining us. I'm Mark Webster. President Trump headlining this afternoon's Pennsylvania Energy and Innovation event held at Carnegie Mellon University, a gathering of top leaders in energy, AI, and global finance, all meeting about their roles in the president's energy and technology agenda.
We have the hottest country, and we're going to keep it that way. Today's commitments are ensuring that the future is going to be designed, built, and made right here in Pennsylvania and right here in Pittsburgh, and I have to say right here in the United States of America.
Pennsylvania Republican Senator Dave McCormick hosted the event and tells Fox News,
I told the president this is his energy dominance, technology leadership policies in action, and it's going to bring thousands, tens of thousands of jobs to working families across Pennsylvania, which is what he promised and it's what I promised.
The event included the announcement of some $90 billion in investments in Pennsylvania energy and AI projects. Now, from $90 billion to $9 billion, that's the amount of federal funding hanging in the balance in the U.S. Senate as lawmakers there debate a rescissions package, which, if approved, would cut that much planned federal spending. Most of that is for USAID, but over $1 billion of it is earmarked for public broadcasting. Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer of New York.
Senate Republicans are set to push through the Senate a bill that betrays rural communities, harms global health, weakens America's standing abroad, and worst of all, sets the stage for even more harmful cuts down the line.
Louisiana Republican Senator John Kennedy.
In Washington, it's not what you say that matters. What you do is what you believe in Washington, D.C., and everything else is just cottage cheese.
The deadline is Friday, though a vote could come as soon as tomorrow and is expected to be narrow right along party lines. One more bit of money news. New inflation numbers out today show the biggest jump in inflation last month since February. These folks probably not surprised to hear that.
Everything seems to be more expensive.
I can't believe how much everything has gone up. It's ridiculous.
Beyond frustrated. It makes no sense.
The Consumer Price Index, which is a general measure of how much people are paying for goods and services and a key inflation indicator, was up 0.3% from May. Some tomatoes might get a little pricier at the grocery store soon. There's a new 17% tariff on tomatoes imported from Mexico.
Those in favor of the move say it will help rebuild the shrinking U.S. tomato industry and ensure that produce eaten in the U.S. is also grown in the States. But opponents, including U.S. companies that grow tomatoes in Mexico, say it will make fresh tomatoes more expensive for U.S. buyers.
That's Fox's Hillary Barsky. A report in the Financial Times claims President Trump told Ukraine to ramp up its military pressure on Russia.
They say, according to sources briefed on the discussion, President Trump, in a phone call with Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky, asked about, the potential for deeper strikes into Russian territory, asking even if Ukraine could reach Moscow.
CBS's Natalie Brand. Trump this afternoon, though, told reporters Ukraine should not try to strike Moscow. The north rim of Grand Canyon National Park will stay closed for the rest of the 2025 season as crews there battle a raging wildfire that's still 0% contained in northern Arizona. The Dragon Bravo fire has already blackened more than 8,000 acres and destroyed the historic Grand Canyon Lodge. Both of Arizona's Democratic senators wanted an investigation into why that fire was initially treated as a controlled burn when residents and landmarks are at risk.
That was all working as planned up until July 10th. Unfortunately, we had really strong, aggressive winds come up from the canyon, and that changed the fire behavior dramatically.
That's Park Ranger Joel Baird. Well, New York and Pennsylvania drying out today after days of flash flooding from torrential potential thunderstorms. We'll have more on that in a bit. And so are some other states. Hard hit yesterday was New Jersey. That's the sound of a water rescue there. One of many after several inches of rain fell in a short period of time. 2 fatalities reported in the Garden State. This restaurant owner's cleaning up after his place got flooded out.
It's not just my business. It's not just my employees. It's everybody down in this area. The water comes in, it comes in quick, and there's really no time to react to it.
Even New York City's subway system saw some flooding. In some cases, riders had to climb up on top of their subway car seats to avoid water that rushed into the trains. Now, one of the largest figures in American Christianity has passed away. Pastor John MacArthur, who shepherded a Los Angeles church for over 40 years, became internationally known as a Bible teacher, expositor, and conservative voice through numerous books he wrote and his Grace to You program that aired on over 1,000 radio stations, including Family Life. He released this statement on social media back in March after a lengthy hospital stay forced him to miss an annual pastors' conference. He sensed then that his time was short.
I realize I'm on the last lap. That takes on a new meaning when you know you're on the short end of the candle. But I am all thanks and praise to God for everything He's allowed me to be a part of and everything He's accomplished by His Word in these years of ministry. Grace and peace to you from God our Father and the Lord Jesus Christ.
Pastor John MacArthur, gone home at age 86. Still to come here on the 5 o'clock report, a day of drying out in New York and Pennsylvania, and also an update coming on PA's push to legalize marijuana.
I'm Kevin Williams, and here is your Family Life regional weather forecast for the night tonight. An early thunderstorm in parts of eastern Pennsylvania. Otherwise, fair skies, balmy, a little hazy for some. Low temp 60s and low 70s. For tomorrow, partial sunshine and steamy. A few thunderstorms in the afternoon. High temps 80s and low 90s. Mainly cloudy and humid tomorrow night and Thursday with showers and rumbles. High temperatures Thursday in the 80s.
All right, thank you very much, Kevin. Now checking the stories making news where you live across New York and Pennsylvania. A dry day was very welcomed by many around the listening area. Newark Valley, New York, for example, decimated by a flash flood late Sunday. The cleanup there continued today in that Tioga County community.
It was probably about a foot and a half of water on the roads.
My heart bleeds for everybody who gets impacted by it.
Several feet of water inundated basements throughout the village.
The rain coming down impacted Slauson Creek and devastating to the homes that are on Rock Street and on Brook Street.
Newark Valley Mayor James Tornatore tells Spectrum News no deaths or injuries were reported in Sunday storms, though the damage was significant. And Pennsylvania also recovering from flash flooding caused by torrential downpours. Lycoming County farmer Jim Parsons tells WNEP his crops are underwater in fields that look more like lakes.
The farm itself is good, the buildings, but quite a bit of crop damage. It's definitely a hit. The next few days we'll be assessing that and see where we're at, see if the water stays down, what we might be able to salvage. So that'll take a few days to figure out.
The high water forced the closure of several roads in Sullivan and Lycoming counties yesterday. Well, discipline coming for a Western New York district attorney after an incident with police last year. Monroe County, New York DA Sandra Dorley has agreed to public censure by the State Commission on Prosecutorial Conduct over her berating of police officers during a traffic stop who were trying to give her a speeding ticket. It was all caught on their body cams. The commission administrator says Dorley's conduct undermined public confidence in her integrity. Censure puts an official condemnation of her actions on the public record, though it doesn't have any other big impact on her position. A first-in-the-nation police mental health bill is making its way through the New York State legislature. It provides up to 20 days of paid leave for troopers involved in use-of-force incidents that result in serious injury or death.
It's acknowledging the complexities of the job we ask the troopers to do every single day and ensure they are equipped, not just with the tools to respond, but the resources to recover.
Charles Murphy with the Police Benevolent Association says police experience double the rate of PTSD as civilians do. On average, a police officer will experience 170 traumatic experiences during his or her career. Trooper retirements have grown by 500% in the past 20 years. All right, up next now, highlights from today's Noon Report interview with Michael Geer from the Pennsylvania Family Institute. He covered a lot of topics in the Keystone State, but we'll narrow our focus to one big one here, the ongoing debate over the proposed legalization of recreational marijuana in Pennsylvania. He spoke with our Bob Price.
Just recently, Senators Dan Laughlin, a Republican, and Sharif Strait, a Democrat, introduced another measure to legalize adult use marijuana in the Commonwealth. This is happening, Michael, as the budget battle continues. Any chance that this might get a vote in the Senate? And I know the governor is keen on this too. Where do things stand when it comes to this issue in Pennsylvania?
Well, if you set a marker down today or this week, you'd say, no, there's not much of a chance of the bill being moved in the Pennsylvania Senate right now. But as the budget standoff drags on in through the dog days of summer, this is the time when we see real mischief happen, and suddenly lawmakers who are longing to get home feel the pressure from the lobbyists, from the marijuana industry. They feel the pressure from the governor, that they just say, oh, let's just go ahead and do it. It's inevitable anyway. And that's why it's so important for the voice of the people who understand the concerns with this proposal to make their voice known.
Yeah.
This is a terrible particular bill, especially I'll just point out that this particular bill does not allow for any local opt-outs. So if the marijuana industry wants to put a pot shop in your neighborhood and the popular position in the people in that community or neighborhood or that borough or township or whatever don't want it, they have no ability to say no.
Yeah.
And so that's just an example of the kind of pressure that's going to be put on local communities to embrace this should it move forward.
Yeah, and your colleague Dan Barkowiak pointed out to us recently that for every dollar that pot produces in Pennsylvania, it will cost $5 in societal ills. You know, the impact this would have on the healthcare industry, on drug driving, on workplace safety. So those who are saying, hey, this is good from an economic standpoint, even that is fallacy if they go forth with this, correct?
Absolutely so. And the other thing to point out is that in this bill, it allows for the high-potency marijuana products that are in gummies and candies and all sorts of things that are designed to attract young people. You know, back in the 70s era, the Vietnam era of marijuana, the potency level of the hallucinogenic component of marijuana was in the single digits. This bill will allow up to 90% of that psychoactive drug in the marijuana products. It's terrible and it's addictive, and it's a gateway drug to other worse situations. And when we have the opioid epidemic happening, we don't need another gateway into that activity.
Yeah, it all hinges on the Senate. I know even in the House they tried this. It didn't get very far, even that bill, not because they didn't want it, just the way it was structured. How many votes? I mean, how much wiggle room do you have here? I mean, it's going to come down to just a handful of votes, correct?
It really is, and that's why the voice of the people is so vitally important. The lobbying effort by big marijuana to push this, that's happened in so many other states where the just overwhelming power of that lobby gets it over the finish line, and we need the voice of the people here in Pennsylvania to help stave off what those lobbyists want to make happen.
Thank you, gentlemen. Michael Geer with the Pennsylvania Family Institute speaking with our Bob Price today during a Noon Report feature that covered a lot of issues in the Keystone State this summer. To hear the entire interview, check out the podcast version of that and all of our Family Life News original features at Apple Podcasts, YouTube, Spotify, and at FamilyLife.org. This is the 5 o'clock report on Family Life.
Some ways of finding work are timeless, while others are definitely new. Hi, I'm Rob West with another Faith and Finance Minute. One thing that hasn't changed is networking. 85% of jobs are filled without being advertised. So who you know can be on par with what you know. Let folks know you're looking. But what you know is still important. Whether you're actively job hunting or not, investing in your growth through online courses to sharpen or develop new skills can open new doors. And here's something newer: your social media presence. Employers often check online profiles, and many have ruled out candidates based on what they found. So be wise about what you post. These steps can help turn your job search into a purposeful and fruitful journey. We can help you learn to manage your money according to biblical principles when you download the free FaithFi app. You'll find it on our website at faithfi.com.
Still to come here on the 5 o'clock report, they're unnaturally colorful, squishy, sweet and sour, wildly popular, and today's their birthday. Just what are they? The answer coming up.
I'm Kevin Williams, and here is your Family Life regional weather forecast. We have a balmy night coming up tonight, but a quiet night for most, weather-wise. The expectation is the heat will build with humidity to make tomorrow particularly steamy and sticky. The approach of a front will then take that humid air and pop some showers and storms later in the day and at night. Showers will linger into Thursday, but behind the front, high pressure builds in to mean the end of the work week and the beginning of the weekend will shape up quite nicely. For the night tonight, an early thunderstorm in parts of eastern Pennsylvania. Otherwise, fair skies, balmy, a little hazy for some. Low temp 60s and low 70s. For tomorrow, partial sunshine and steamy. A few thunderstorms in the afternoon, high temps 80s and low 90s. Mainly cloudy and humid tomorrow night and Thursday with showers and rumbles. High temperatures Thursday in the 80s.
All right, thank you very much, Kevin. Finally at 5, kids gobble them up every chance they get. Happy Gummy Worm Day.
What are we, Team Haribo? The fruitiest and luxurious!
Well, today marks the official debut of the colorful, squishy treats, a creation of German candy maker Trolli on July 15th, 1981. But that's not the original gummy candy. That was the gummy bear, created by another German candy maker, Hans Riegel, all the way back in 1920. It's been sweet success for the industry ever since. Global gummy sales top $40 billion a year. And so beloved are they that in 2009, the French Foreign Legion inducted gummy bear maker Hans Riegel into its Legion of Honor. Viva la Gummy. And that's the world we live in for Tuesday, July 15th, 2025. Thank you again for joining us. I'm Mark Webster, Family Life News.
Thank you for listening to this Family Life News podcast. If you've been encouraged by what you've heard, please share it with others and click the subscribe button to automatically receive future episodes. Family Life is a listener-supported ministry. Podcasts like this are made possible by your financial partnership. Find out more at familylife.org.